Welcome back to the channel. Today's good weather outside. I want to say thank you for some of the support and comments you've been making. Let's get into it. Let's get into this one. I've had many moments with some people that are close to me in the past and even fairly recently. People that are family or maybe friends that have been very inconsiderate of the people around them. Now I have like a little bit of problem as well where I haven't been very mature or I haven't been very considerate. I don't know if it's because I'm a bit autistic, I'm not sure. But I feel like currently it's better than it was in the past. So someone would say something to me, for example, and it would go over my head. And instead I'd be like focused on the moment a lot, or I would be focused on my perspective a lot when I'm in a conversation or having a moment. So what I've seen from these people, from family or friends, I've seen immaturity, inconsiderate people, people that have a sense of entitlement, and that entitlement has made a lot of problems, including some of them with family members. One of them is my cousin, inconsiderate of his dad and what position that he's in. He wasn't in a great financial position. He lost his wife a few years ago. I think 4 or 5 years ago now, and how my cousin has acted is he prioritized himself a lot. I don't know their relations. I don't know if he's close to his dad or not, but I'm guessing it looks like from the outside that he is. He's had some alone time. He was studying prior for like 3 years elsewhere, and he's had his own place. And then just last year, he came back home to live. And what he's done in front of me is he's been inconsiderate with money. He spent his dad's money a lot for his own lifestyle and enjoyment. He bought a car basically, and other stuff obviously as well, none of my business. But what I did see that was related to me is we went to buy a car, we went to dealership, and I saw the stress on my uncle's face. I saw like he was neglecting himself with job, and he was trying to supply his children, his two sons, a future and some sort of opportunities for them, and not feeling guilty, perhaps, I'm not sure, that he's not being a good father. So he's prioritized that as like number one on the list over himself. That's what I saw. Over his own priorities, over his own self-regulation emotionally and whatnot, and lifestyle-wise. He's working very, very often. He's killing himself with work. I've spoken to him before a few times, and I've told him that he's prioritizing too much his work, and he needs to not only take breaks more often, but he needs to think of a better future for himself. Not to give up and build step by step a new place that he wants to live in. It might be where he was before in Turkey, and have a new lifestyle, meet new people, have new friends, and have hobbies, have different jobs even. Maybe he would work in the property sector, for example. And I hope he considers it. He did seem like he was considering it. when he was talking himself as well on these topics. But lately, I haven't seen him for like the past 6 months. And his cousin, my cousin, his son, is both of them are inconsiderate and immature. But I guess I didn't know my cousin well enough. The one that is the eldest is my age, and I thought that he is the most mature, because on the outside, before I got to be close with him, and I used to live far, I used to live in London, so I was assuming that he was like a mature guy, the guy is considerate of other people, thoughtful, mature, able to articulate himself, able to speak about difficult things, because he was doing politics and kind of the social aspects of the country and whatnot, and sending considerations to different orgs that work in parliament and parties and whatnot, and international affairs. So that's what I thought. I thought it was, from the outside, it looked like it was someone that is very well put and knows himself very well. I was wrong. You can't judge someone, you can't assume that you know someone well just because you see them on the outside. And I didn't assume either, but I just felt like, I thought I knew him somewhat, and I guess I didn't know him at all. What happened was, after spending some time with him, I saw this. We went to the car dealership, and he was very, very inconsiderate. His priority was himself and his girlfriend, and they were very, very in a bliss, inside of a daydream, inside of a honeymoon. And it's normal, because I have been in like only once in my life in like a honeymoon stage of my relationship, but it's never reached that point. Like, I've never had that point where I've just been so deluded and so inconsiderate, immature, entitled, to not consider my dad, not consider my mom, not consider my other cousins, my aunts, my uncles, not considering them, and just being like, it's me and my girlfriend against the world, pretty much. So that was very, very, very strange to me. I couldn't get over that, of why someone would actually have that as like a massive priority for themselves. And he would often not be able to articulate himself. He can't talk about what he wants to ask. For example, he wanted to ask question to the dealer, and he's still asking for his dad, even though he's the same age as me, and he's the type of guy that plays the role as if he's mature, but he's not actually mature, the actions that he does. So you got like the title, say you're a manager of a store, and you got the title manager, but you're not actually doing the things that are managing. How this affected my view is, I couldn't get over his dad. I saw him have like mental problems and tiredness and issues, as well as my own dad as well. So they kind of hang out together, which is good. That's how I realized that he's got some problems internally that he hasn't resolved and faced. And to see that his son is not even asking questions in the dealership, his dad is asking on his behalf, I felt embarrassed. I felt like that's when I knew something seriously flawed was going on. So I tried to be careful with I started distancing myself and tried to be careful of what this person is doing, and not saying yes to a lot of things, and yeah, and it didn't go. Like, I tried to be silent. Sometimes you try to be silent when there's a problem, but you should actually say something. You should actually say, I don't think we're going to get along currently. I'm not going to be around you anymore, and I don't want to be spending time. I want a bit more alone time in these times, but we can still be in communication just in case there's any emergency or anything that may arise that is serious. But that's it. Don't take it personally. That's the way it is. And I didn't do that. I stayed silent until bad stuff started to happen. I got accused of something that he did. And I was still shocked at the end of the day. Like, I wasn't, I expected that from his this personality that I saw, the real him. But I didn't expect it this much. So I didn't expect a scenario that deep. And it happened, and that was the breaking point for me, definitely. I was like, I can't be around this person whatsoever. And that's it. We had a few messages back and forth. And I told him, like, I'm not going to be around him. I don't want to be around him. I didn't find it fine. Even a sorry or apology isn't enough. So that's how I felt on it. And I did ask myself, like, am I being immature here because I'm not able to forgive someone? Especially someone close. Like, I've known this guy from childhood. Here and there we went on holidays and stuff like that. So it was very tough to come to terms with. Like, it's not something that you plan. It's just something that happens and you have to kind of react to it. So that's what happened. And I distanced myself. I made it clear. And I just stuck to my guns. And I'm glad I did that. I can't be around anyone that I used to know or that was close to me, that is a family member, if they don't have any respect for the people around them. Massive problem for me. It's not forgivable very easily. If you're consistently that kind of character, especially, I don't forgive. You don't have to do something extremely bad. It's just you are critically against how I would accept being around someone or something that I would consider living and good thing in my life. That's how it is. There's a lot of flaws that he has that he doesn't want to face. That's also a big problem. Not wanting to take accountability for just things in your life, such as I'm eating too much food, I need to eat less, I need to be more considerate with what I buy for someone. Like, if I'm getting a gift, just don't get them like a whiskey and then be like, hey, here you go, I'm thinking of you. Just that, being thoughtful, because if you're not being thoughtful, then you're not real to yourself and not real to the other person. So there's no connection, there's no real connection, there's no real family, friends. And it's very, very strange. I do remember some parts in my past that I was in a relationship and I was acting similar way. So, like, I was on my phone too much. Definitely, that was an issue. No matter if you love someone, you shouldn't be on your phone too much. And I noticed how often he is. Like, he's on his phone a lot. Even at the gym, you go down the stairs. I saw him recently at the gym. And he's just looking at his phone. He's just completely detached from reality. I was somewhat detached, as in when I was in my home, I was hanging out with my girlfriend. But when I was outside, I wasn't on my phone talking to my girlfriend, usually. You know, the only time that I was in my aunt's house and stuff like that, but not outside, out and about. Nah. It's just like, I'm not exaggerating when I say immaturity. I'm not exaggerating, by the way. I'm not saying like I'm a very strict person. Somebody has to be mature. We have to be very serious. But this person was like, compared to any other person, let's say in the gym, they were like 1 in 100 immaturity level. And no care, like, it's just bizarre. It's really, really bizarre. Usually when you go somewhere, you still look around and you're just kind of present in the moment, you know. He wasn't, maybe 90% not present. So yeah, I'm glad I'm away from that. And I've had moments that it's like this, just this is one person. I've had moments with other people as well where they have been very either inconsiderate or very entitled. One of my other cousins, I'll just mention this as the last thing. One of my other cousins was, I don't know what's going on in his life. His one is a bit separate. He's having a very tough time because his upbringing is not good whatsoever. I know this because when I was in his house, there was a lot of like very bad fights with his mum. Even though I was there for about 2 weeks, I stayed there 2-3 weeks, and it was bad. It was very, very bad. Like, I realized that I had a bad household, definitely. I had a lot of sabotage going on, but not fights and shouts and like just not speaking to each other, stonewalling a lot. I didn't have that, you know. It would be more like kind of less war and more covert stuff and just trying to be away and emotional. His one was very, very. There was physical stuff going on. He was breaking the wall. He was breaking. I think he made a hole in the wall or stuff like that. He broke his door many, many times when I was opening his door. The door was completely. I'm not even joking. Like, just hole in the door. And that wasn't a one-time thing. That was like, even in his past home, same thing has happened. And I know that his sister also was like having a very, very rough teenage slash, I don't know, childhood because I wasn't alive, but teenager and young adult life with her mum and his mum. So what he's been doing is being reckless with spending. He went somewhere else to study uni, and he spent money like crazy. Like, I actually mean crazy. I mean, like, I don't know, in 3 years probably he spent 80 grand, 100 grand. It's just ridiculous. It is like insane. Of just basic living, rent, outside food, partying, everything pretty much. So it's none of my business. If you know, they lose money, they gain money. None of my business. Doesn't really concern me. I did worry for them, but that's in the past now. You know, I don't worry. It's fine. It's just seeing a lot of suffering, seeing a lot of fights, and sometimes he wouldn't speak to his dad whatsoever. There was that going on for like 3-5 years, and they were living in the same house and they wouldn't speak. So it was tough. It was very tough to see that. Yeah, it is what it is. And he got a lot of sabotage as well from his mum. Not like the one that I said before, the other cousin that I said in the start. He had a lot of sabotage going on from his mum, and he just has self-regulating issues. Like he doesn't look after himself well, and still probably can't even now. He's a year older than me, and just he's in a roller coaster, and he's just kind of flowing whichever way that his friends are going instead of having his own footing, his own foundation. I don't know what he's doing now. It's been about 2 years. I hope he's well. I hope he's got his own independence, and I feel like that's one of the main things he was missing in his life, independence. Whereas the first guy I was talking about, he had independence. He was just inconsiderate. He just doesn't care whatever the hell happens to someone. People are struggling. His dad was struggling with loads of stuff. Money is not the main problem of life. It's not the end all be all, but he's putting more pressure on his dad in terms of money. And it's sad to see. It's very tough because I can see how emotionally drained his dad is. And he went parachuting, I think, a year ago. Inside of a year. So he's trying to do a little bit different things and trying to spend some time with his other son on holiday in Dubai he was. But he just doesn't have enough for himself. As in my belief, if you don't save yourself, you can't save anyone else. That's my belief. And that's what's going on with him. He needs to focus on himself, and he doesn't get the opportunity because that guy is sucking the soul out of him, sucking the resources out of him. That was tough. Very, very low accountability. Like the second guy I was talking about, my other cousin, he's all right. He takes accountability sometimes, definitely. He doesn't have a very, very bad accountability problem. He does have somewhat, but it's definitely not as bad as the one that I'm talking about from the start. And in our family, I would guess this guy probably has close to number one, maybe third place in all of the family. In about 30 people, I'd probably say like third place. No accountability. And what did I learn? End of the story. It's extremely serious to consider who you're going to hang out with if they don't have accountability. It's one of the most important things in life. Okay? So if you're in any friendship, in any relationship, in anything, and like your business partner, for example, they keep dodging some stuff, very bad sign. In my case, I would try to get out as soon as I can. Like, I don't need to see anything else. I don't need to see if you're a superhero or anything. I just need to get out of that connection, that relationship. Because there is no two ways about it. There is no, I can lighten it. That's what I kind of tried to play with this person. I thought that if I just stay low key and not be involved in much, it will be fine. It wasn't, obviously, because sooner or later they're going to invite you to do something and you're going to look like just a shit person because you said no to them. I can't be helping you out in this area. I can't be with you right now. And then what do you know? They're going to blame you for doing something that they did, Crazy. Problem life, and it really fucks with your mind. It really messes with your mind when you feel like was I the one wrong here? You know, you keep questioning yourself. There's a lot of not only self-doubt, but there's a lot of question marks that goes on your day when you're around this person. And that's really, really bad. High confusion on a regular basis with anyone that you're around and that you was with. When you spend your day confused, it's very, very bad. You'll do a lot of things, mistakes that are unrelated with them, but because you are questioning and you're unsure, you make more mistakes. That's the way it is. For mind clarity, you need people that not only suit you, some people they're not going to suit you, that's perfectly fine, but that are also able to self-reflect and not make you confused. So they're able to just communicate. This guy was terrible at communicating. I'm telling you, terrible. There was zero clarity. You know, as men, I feel like one of the most important things is communication. Because there's a lot of problems that men face that they need to solve, whereas women, they kind of sit on the sidelines sometimes, not always, when there's an issue. And he's not one of those types of people. So again, extremely bad, because problems will arise. You know, some people will have a miscommunication, and as a man, you need to speak on somebody else's behalf, maybe, or in your own behalf, and say, this is my line, this is what I've seen. How do you feel about this? What do you think? There was none of that. So that was it for me. Thanks for watching this video. I appreciate I don't know if YouTube is just showing more of my videos or if it's just more people find it better to watch these new videos that I'm posting. And I like the sort of people that watch the new videos compared to the old ones, because the old ones were a bit more detached from me, and rather it was like I would do my passion, I would do an edit, or I would do a review, and that would be it. It was like a transaction. So I prefer this kind of videos where it's more like a window where, you know, I can look into you and then you can look into me, rather than a transaction, you know. I'm making videos where people just, I don't know, feel a lot of emotions, because I prefer not now, you know. I prefer that. That's not the right path for me, I feel like. And I don't know what I'm going to do with this channel. I don't know where it's heading to, but I just know that the current layout that I got, I think it's better. The structure is important compared to no structure and just making like a McDonald's kind of exchange, you know. Not to say my old videos I'm really proud of. Maybe half of them I'm really proud of. But it's just been very transactional. It's been very, people want this, so I'm going to do my own take, my own art style of it, and see how it goes, which is great. It's great and it has its place. But I feel like longevity and like a more stable emotions with people that are watching my video is way better than extreme happiness, or like high happiness, high sadness, high whatever. I like the old YouTube. That's pretty much what I'm trying to align to. I'm going to finish it almost now. I like the old YouTube, and I don't like the gamified version of it now. There's a lot of emotion that they're playing with, and I don't agree with this style of YouTube where it's almost like a casino. You know, it's whoever holds the most amount of time, most amount of people, you know, on your channel, on your video, usually the channel itself, is the better it is. And, you know, we're going to expose them to a lot of people, diverse amount of people. I don't want that. I want like specific types of people to watch my videos instead of it's going to be sent to, you know, 500,000 people. I prefer not. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next.